Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And it is a wintry day outside. I'm looking outside. It's a wintry day outside. It is snow everywhere. It is cold. And I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today. I just don't feel very good. My throat has, I'm like trying to swallow. My throat is really scratchy today, and I've been coughing a lot, and I don't know if I'm sick or if I'm trying to get sick. I just am feeling kind of blah today. And I actually thought about taking the whole day off and not filming any videos on any of my channels, but I hadn't filmed any videos yesterday on this channel or on my review channel, so I wanted to film at least those videos today. Because I had missed yesterday, I was running late, we were going to a concert last night, which we had a lot of fun. I think because it was so cold outside last night, and probably because I wasn't dressed appropriately, which is always the story, I got sick, or I don't know, maybe because I wear Birkenstock sandals when it's 30 degrees outside, I don't know, you know, but I feel like I'm trying to get sick. But I was sitting here and I was kind of going through the meditations, and I was like, you know what, I can just kind of sit here and I can read these meditations and let you guys, you know what I think about these things, like I often do. Right, Tucker? He said, just because we're sick doesn't mean we can't have peace and serenity in our lives. That's true. So, I pulled up, let's see, 6 books, same 6 books I always pick. I was gonna go and pick a bunch of new books for this year, and I haven't done that yet. I keep on meaning to do that. Maybe we could do that later, boys. What do you think? Boo Radley is down here. I'm sure he'll be jumping up here in a second. He's licking my toe as we speak. Which one should we read today? You pick, Tucker. Pick one. Boo Radley said he wants to pick. Oh, Boo Radley just licked this one. Okay, you want to pick another one, bud? Here, you pick. Somebody pick one. You gotta pick. Oh, Boo Radley literally just put his paw up like that on this one, The Nightlight by Amy Dean. Okay, Boo Radley, since you're down here and you are being such a good partner today for the Peterisms channel. He said it's my favorite channel, Dad. It is? Why? He said because everything's so calm over here. That's right. Okay. Well, we're going to read these meditations. Are you ready? He said, of course I'm ready. I was born ready. All right. Let's start with the meditations for living in balance. You can see this video is kind of all over the place, can't you? Which is this one right here. All right. Are you ready? They make it, oh, you guys, they make it a little difficult to read these meditations sometimes. Okay. Do you guys want to sit down? No, we'd rather just stand on your lap, Dad. Okay. February 27th, eating. Oh, this will be a good one. Because I was just thinking to myself, I'd actually texted Alex, and he said, what are you doing today? And I said, I just don't feel very well. And he was like, I'm sorry. And he was like, do you want me to bring you something home? And I said, no, I think after this, I'm going to go and get Noodles and Company. I'm craving Noodles and Company. Just, you know, the fatty food, that just, you know, comfort food. And I was like, I am just going to sit in front of this TV, and I'm going to finish watching the season of Cheer. Have you guys watched Cheer on Netflix? I'm watching it, and I have like an episode and a half. So I'm like, I'm going to sit here and just eat some comfort food, take a nap maybe, listen to my audiobook. I'm getting ready to finish an audiobook and start another one. So we're going to have a good day, aren't we? We're going to have a good day. I think, you know, the important lesson from all of this to take away is that some days you just have to take care of yourself, you know, and you know, I think, you know, one of the things is when I was working full time, I was somebody that would never call in sick. I felt bad if I called in sick. I felt like, you know, then somebody else had to take care of my responsibilities, because I hated when other people called in sick because I had to take care of their responsibilities and whatever. So I never called in sick, you know, and my supervisor would say to me, she would say, first of all, don't come in sick and get everybody else sick, number one. Number two, she said, if you're not feeling well, she said, you might as well take care of yourself. And she said that when you come back, she's like, you're back, and we need you, you know, like full. We need you, you know, your tank filled is how we need you. So stay at home for a day and take care of yourself. We can handle things around here. The whole place isn't going to fall apart just because you're not here, you know? And it was kind of a lesson that I learned over time. I mean, I rarely called in sick. I think, you know, it's interesting because I don't know where my work ethic came from. I started this, we're going to talk about eating, but I don't know where my work ethic came from. I kind of wonder about this sometimes. You know, I didn't have a job until after I got sober, and I mean, not a legal job. Before that, I did some things that weren't legal associated with my sobriety. But, you know, like, I didn't have a legal job until then, and it was like, I was always, you know, complimented on my work ethic and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And what's interesting to me about that is, now my dad has incredible work ethic, you know, mom had pretty good work ethic. I mean, it was good. It was not, I wouldn't say as great as my dad's, you know. I don't know that my dad has ever called in sick a day in his life, and he's worked for, you know, 50 years or something like that now. I mean, I really don't think he's ever called in sick a day in a life. And I don't think that not calling in sick means that you have poor work ethic. I think if you're sick, you don't go to work. You have to take care of yourself. But I think there's a difference between, you know, going to work when you're, not going to work when you're truly sick and taking advantage of it. I mean, I think we've all worked with people that take advantage of that, you know what I mean? So I just tried never to do that. I tried never to, I worked with this one person. I didn't work with her very long, but she said one time, she said to me, you know, sick days are for when you're feeling good and you just enjoy it being at home. Like, I never felt that way. I always felt like that was rude to my coworkers, you know? So anyway, but yeah, like, you know, I look back on that, and I think, like, what I learned over time was that there were some days that I just, even if I didn't feel horrible, but, like, I could kind of feel it coming on, that I had to, like, take care of myself. And I think it's a really valuable lesson that, you know, I don't think we talk much about, that, you know, maybe we should do that in job training, is talk about, you know, like, and if you really aren't feeling great, or even, like, you know, like, if you need, you know, what do we call them in school back in the day? I mean, like, you know, you just take like a mental health day, kind of, you know, if you're, like, down in the dumps and you're not feeling great. I think sometimes we try to push through it. Now, there's many of us that are in positions where we can, but, like, you know, I was in a position where, we earned, you know, time over, so you could use that time, we earned it, you know, and I know a lot of people are in positions where they can't do that. But I think at the same time, you have to take care of yourself. I always say this, because I feel like I meet a lot of martyrs that are like, I take care of everybody in my life. I take care of my mom. I take care of my dad. I take care of my grandparents. I take care of my kids. I take care of my husband. I'm like, okay, well, are you taking care of yourself? Well, I don't have time to take care of myself. Then how could you ever possibly take care of all these people? You know, and if you were taking care of yourself a little, well, I don't have time to take care of myself. You don't have 10 minutes to take a bath. No, I don't even have 10 minutes. You don't have 10 minutes to take a bath. Or you don't have time to listen to, you know, I'm like, the whole time I'm like sitting here petting Bradley, isn't this funny? I'm like, but you don't have time to listen to an audiobook or listen to some of your favorite music, you know, on a playlist while you're driving to work. No, I don't have to. It's just like, okay, you don't want to take care of yourself. And those people that I know that take time out of their day to take care of themselves really are more giving to other people, because they can give fully. And so I think, you know, before we even get into this meditation, I guess what I'm telling myself is I need to maybe do a better job of taking care of myself sometimes, you know? I don't know. All right. February 27th, eating. I feel now that the gastronomical perfection can be reached in these, oh, Boo Radley, what did you pick? In these combinations, one person dining alone, usually upon a couch or a hillside, two people of no matter what sex or age dining in a good restaurant, six people of no matter what sex or age dining in a good home. I have no clue where this is going. MFK Fisher. Eating can be one of the best ways that we return to and maintain balance. I'm not talking about balance in regular meals, the importance of which goes without saying. I am talking about the process of eating as a balancing process. I wish I had my phone right here and I could show you what Alex and I were just texting each other. I have been eating a nutritionally balanced diet for a while and really love it. The other day I had a breakfast of cottage cheese, strawberries, pears, Harry and David, delicious, blueberries and nuts. I was eating slowly, savoring each taste and combination of tastes. I was aware that the blueberries, strawberries, and cottage cheese tasted different from the strawberries, pears, and cottage cheese. I savor the crunchiness of the nuts among the others, softer foods. I tasted each texture and flavor. I enjoyed each texture and flavor. I did nothing but eat. When I finished, I was aware of feeling peaceful. Try eating several or at least one meals alone each week in silence. No radio, no conversation. I just said I was going to do this too. No radio, no conversation, no telephone calls, no TV, no rushing or thinking. Just you tasting the food and see what happens. Give this more than one trial. I recommend several to allow you to settle down into the process and experience the full effect. I actually really like that meditation, and you have to tell you what's interesting is, you know, Alex and I have always had different work schedules, and so when Alex and I got together, I had to learn to kind of eat some eat some meals several times a week by myself. And, you know, I would I started going to restaurants by myself. Now, not, you know, steakhouses by myself, but I started going to like this Puccini's place up the street, or I would go, you know, sometimes I would go to even Cheesecake Factory by myself, and I wouldn't take a book, and I would just sit there, and I wouldn't get on my phone. You know, I wasn't as like phone frenzied, so to speak, as I am now, but like I would just sit there and kind of like taking the food and like taking, you know, watching what was going on, and it was really enjoyable, you know, and I do think there's truth to that. You know, when I did the magic book by Rhonda Byrne, what I was talking about the other day, there's a whole part in there about food and sprinkling this like magic dust over the food and being grateful for each process of the food, like way to like the farmer that, you know, grew the food to that, or grew the ingredients that were turned into the meal that you're eating. It goes all the way back, and then you say thank you for like each part of that process, you know, along the way. And, I think it's really interesting to, it makes you look at your meals in a completely different way, to have like utter gratitude for it, and just in the moment sit there and just really enjoy it. I do think that we rush through meals, you know. It's something that I notice, like when I go out to dinner with friends. It's like, you know, like I get so excited about a meal. I love going out to eat. There's nothing more that I love than going out to eat. I love going out to, and I know people are like, well, you would love the same thing with a home cooked meal. I really don't. I don't know what it is about me. I love sitting in a restaurant. I love the ambiance of a restaurant. You know, I like the bread, the fresh bread coming. I like ordering a side salad before it comes. I like sitting there and having conversations with my friends. And I love like getting something off the menu that I wouldn't make at home, or I wouldn't get home, you know, cooked. There's nothing more that I love than going out to eat at a restaurant with friends. I love it. And, I just love the whole ordeal of it, and I get very, very excited about it, you know. And I think that's a little bit like having appreciation for the whole thing too. I think so many of us just like go through this like rush of like, you know, like eating a meal, you know, finishing a meal, I think. All right, enough about that, right? Enough about eating. Do you like to eat, Tucker? You do? Can they see your ears over there? You like to eat? What do you like to eat? You want a lamb and rice burrito. That's why I used to sing the Pee-Pee. That was one of his songs. Okay, let's go to, I mean, he's licking my hand. February 27th. What is it? What? You want to read it? Go ahead. You want me to read it to you? Okay. February 27th. We fear to trust our wings. We plume and feather them. Wait. We fear to trust our wings. We plume and feather them. I have all these candles lit right now, you guys. I have Bath and Body Works right over there. It's like something s'mores. And then I have another one over here that's chestnut and something. And then I have these Scentsy candle waxes that are like real like pumpkin loaf or something. I don't know. They're burning in the kitchen and around there. And the whole house just smells like Christmas, doesn't it? It smells really good in here. I know Christmas is over, but I still like the smell of Christmas. Okay, we fear to tread our wings. We plume. Boo Radley is wanting to play in my lap. Okay. We fear to trust our wings. I can't read these meditations anymore on here. You guys are so fun. We fear to tread our wings. We plume and feather them, but dare not throw our weight upon them. We cling too often to the perch. Charles B. Newcomb. Even before it has learned to fly, a baby bird is pushed from its nest. It will totter upon the ground. Stubby wings outstretched from its body, following the guiding cries of its parents to flap its wings and take flight. When we were young, our wings hadn't even developed before we began tottering through life. We may have received little direction about how to fly. As we grew, we may have built a nest and retreated within it, still not knowing how to fly. Although our wings have not been used, we can still learn to fly. There are those who can teach us at meetings. They too have had to learn to fly after years of nest sitting. It isn't easy at first. In fact, it may be quite painful and tiring. But by trying out our wings every day, they will grow stronger and more familiar to us. That's Boo Radley. Our nest will always be there, but we won't have to visit it as often. We'll be too busy flying and testing our wings. Tonight, I can begin to learn the freedom of flight and trust my wings. It's an interesting meditation. It's interesting where I went with the meditation. Oh, guy. You're so funny. He's like trying to crawl between my arms. I know this has become a dog video at this point, but it's making me happy. You know, it's interesting where my mind went with that. I feel so blessed to have had so many mentors, teachers, guides in my life. You know, and not just, you know, career-wise or educationally or academically, but I think just in life, you know. You could take all of my sponsors, so to speak, for one. You know, I've had, I think, 5 sponsors I counted not too long ago, and I was like, yeah, I've had 5 sponsors in my life. I've had amazing, amazing sponsors, you know, in my recovery. But I've also had just like mentors in my life that have taught me. Okay, Boo Radley literally jumped down right into the ring light. So we had to, oh my Lord, we don't want Dad to talk about any of this today, do we? You know, I think about like the mentors that I've had in my life. And one of the probably the finest mentors I've ever had is my best friend's husband. And, you know, he knows everything to do with, like, how to fix things in houses and what to do with cars and whatever. So whenever I have something going on, I love you too, Boo Radley, I always, you know, like, call him up, and he just always helps me. You know, he's always there. And my dad has been that for me in my life, you know, at times, and you know, other people have, but Tanya's husband, Eric, is just like somebody that, I don't know how, he explains it in like layman's terms that I'm like, he explains it once and I get it, right? Or he'll look at something like, and he has it figured out like right away, you know? And I look at people like that in my life. I also think that if there are things that you want to do that you're passionate about, you know, when I was writing a book, I reached out to, if I put you down, are you going to jump down into the ring light again? You're going to just stay right here. He said, I'll just stay right here, Dad, I promise. You know, when I was writing my book, I reached out to a lot of young adult authors that I looked up to. And there were several of them that were so generous and so kind to respond to me, you know, and to say, oh, try this, or, you know, like, I still think about, like, Brent Hardiger, who wrote the Russell Middlebrook series, which is one of my favorite series of life, and, you know, like, he explained the difference to me of, like, writing organically and structured writing, and, you know, like, writing from an outline and then organically writing, and, you know, how he worked and things like that, and it was so helpful to me. And then, you know, I had written a letter to, like, Ellen Hopkins, or an email to Ellen Hopkins, who I love her writing as well. And, you know, she had written me back and, you know, just really given me some encouraging words. And, you know, I think about that in life, you know, first of all, I think it lets you know that your heroes out there believe in you too, but that they also can kind of guide the way for the things that you want to do with your life. I remember when my brother-in-law, my youngest brother-in-law, was applying to colleges, and he really wanted to go in, he went into business, but he really wanted to go into engineering, okay? And he wanted to design skate parks, is what he wanted to do. And I said to him, I said, you know, like, find 3 or 4 people out there that have done what you want to do, and contact them and say, I want to do what you do. What do I need to do that? You know, before I got on YouTube, I contacted a lot of YouTubers. Now, most of them, I would say, did not respond, but some did, you know, some did. I think it's interesting, you know, like, I feel like when I started YouTube a couple years ago, I feel like people were, like, more guarded with their information. Like, they didn't want to talk about, like, the behind the scenes of YouTube. You know, I feel like now I've seen a lot of videos that people are like, yeah, just start it, you know, like, just turn on your phone. It's just not that deep, you know? But, like, before I started YouTube, I was like, I had no clue. It was, like, this really, really scary thing to me. And, you know, writing a book was really, really scary to me. And I think that it's important to reach out to people that have paved the road before us. I think it's also important to pay homage to those people that have paved the road before us, you know, and to ask them, like, well, what did you do in this situation, or how did you do that? I still do that, you know, with situations with YouTube. Like, I'll reach out to people and be like, what do you think, you know? And with writing, I definitely still do that. You know, I still stay in contact with some writers that I have met that have just been, you know, absolutely phenomenal in helping me out. And I think that in life, you know, if there's something that you really, really want to do, find somebody that's done it and ask them, say, what did you do? It doesn't mean that you have to copy them. It doesn't mean that you have to be an exact replica of them. It just means that somebody else, first of all, for me, what it did was, it kind of dumbed it down, and then I didn't feel so scared of the process, number one. Number two, it was like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too, right? And then you can put your own spin or your own style to it. I mean, nothing's original. I think we live in this world where everybody wants to be original. There's just really not a whole lot of original ideas left, you know? I think there's our personal stories mixed with creativity based on ideas that were originated a long time ago. That's really what I think a lot of today is, you know? There's not a book I read that I don't think, oh, this reminds me of such and such, and maybe they didn't get the idea from that, or there's not a show that I don't watch that I think that, you know, like this is all reminds me of this or that, you know, but that being said, each show, each book, each movie, whatever is completely different in its own right. But I think that we, in some way, you know, when I was growing up, it was like role models and people inspiring and motivating us by the paths they had taken was like something cool, right? Like, remember when we were in school and we would be asked, like, who are your role models? You know, like, who do you look up to? Most people would say their mom and dad. But, you know, like, in reality, like, as you get older, you start thinking about your role models. I think today, we're, like, afraid to do that. It's like, if we talk about our role models, then we're seen as copying our role models. No, that's not it at all, you know? It really isn't. It's... You know, I get so many emails, you guys, every single day. I can't even keep up with them. And I get so many, you know, emails about like, I want to do this, or I want to do that, or how did you do that? And, you know, I try to answer a lot of those emails because you have the sweetest face, Boo Radley. You do too, Tucker. You guys are both so sweet. Tucker just follows me around like he's my best friend these days. Don't you? He said, yeah. He said, I gotta keep you going since Pee-Pee is gone now. I gotta be your assistant in all your videos. You know, I think, like, those are the emails sometimes that stand out a lot. I mean, I get a lot of emails about recovery and stuff, too, you know, and people sharing their stories and their experiences with me, which are just, it's powerful. It's really, really powerful, you know, and I think that, you know, like, I think it's important for us to share our stories with other people and allow them to know that they're not alone and that they can do it too. And I think it's important for us to reach out to those people that are heroes or role models of ours as well, you know? I mean, like, I think sometimes we're afraid of, like, reaching out. Sometimes we're afraid of reaching out to those people. But imagine getting a letter, okay, in the mail, and somebody says, you are my role model, and I look up to you, and I would like to do what it is you do. What would you recommend to me? Why would we ever, like, be offended by that letter? That's an amazing letter, you know what I mean? Like, I think we're sometimes afraid to, like, compliment people or whatever, you know? And I think especially, like, covering, you know, beauty influencer drama, as I do on my other channel. I don't talk about it much over here, but it's not like I don't think that you guys know what I do. I see all these people fight for original ideas, and I'm like, you know what? Why can't we just, like, give credit where credit's due, you know? And ask people to be role models for us, you know? Like, I don't know. I think it's building relationships. We're afraid of building relationships or something. We're afraid of people. We're afraid of each other, you know? And I think that's where a lot of the world's this is getting real deep. I think it's a lot where a lot of the world's problems come from. You know, it's like we're afraid to sit across from somebody and say, you know, I don't understand why you do this or you choose this or whatever, but can you explain this to me? Like, I don't understand this piece of your life. Can you explain it to me? And then we allow ourselves to sit there and we allow that person to share their life with us, and we listen to it and we go, oh, okay. Like, we're afraid of people anymore, right? If we don't understand something, instead of asking, we just pass judgment on it, you know? We don't sit down there and we don't sit down with them and ask them to explain it to us with an open mind and an open heart, you know? And I think that this meditation, I knew today, my mind is everywhere. Today was not the day, and Boo Radley's scratching and Tucker's sitting in my lap, and oh, it's been a crazy Peterisms video today. I should probably just end it there. Anyway, I don't know. You know, reach out to your role models and, you know, and find the best place to sleep, I guess. Anyway, that's what Boo Radley's teaching us. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.